because there's so many different times in terms of the closures. Essentially, everything needs to shut down. What's developed here in D.C. is they are shutting everything down. Also, the precipitation is coming in earlier as well. So, guys, Metro Rail shutting down as of 11 o'clock tonight. Bus suspended at 5 p.m. today. Metro Access 6 p.m. We have over 2,500 cancellations at the airports. 2,500. Leading the way this morning, Charlotte. Blizzard warnings are posted. You can see them all the way up to New York City and Long Island. You will get into this as well. We'll talk about the timing of that, but let's talk about what we've got here going on. Classic setup here, guys. Strong mid-latitude vortex working its way across the south, meeting the cold, what we call confluent flow, or air that's kind of coming together in the upper levels in the east. That's locking in the cold air. That's a key to a big, big nor'easter. A key to a big nor'easter. Multiple faceted precipitation fields. 6.2 at Little Rock already. Memphis, you're going to change over from freezing rain to snow. Here's the precip shield already working its way across North Carolina into Southwest Virginia. So yes, if you're waking up going, wow, that's a little faster than I anticipated, you're absolutely right. 2 o'clock, there it is, over D.C. So yesterday we were talking 5, today we're talking 2. By sunset, heaviest precip overnight, crushing snow. 2, 3, maybe 4 inches an hour. Thunder, lightning, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. No changeover here expected. None. And as you can see, maybe by the time we get into Saturday night, late into Sunday morning, we will stop the precip. Guys, we have kind of crossed out of our legends here on the maps. Look at this. 20 to almost 40 inches of snow predicted west of Culpeper. This doesn't count the banding features that may develop, that may produce 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow an hour. Here's the deal. Don't miss this. If you put your family out on the roads tonight, or yourselves, you're doing yourself an injustice. And don't forget about the people that had to come get you, all right? You need to be off the roads for this storm. I've never been as confident about anything as I am about this one. All right, Stephanie, let's talk about the timing for New York.
Well, you know, it's still a very tough call, and that's what I've been saying on all of social media, and I've been saying it for the last couple of days. We are on the northern fringe of this. Let's take you on to Long Island first, where they are pre-treating the roads ahead of this storm. Now, even though the storm's going to hit on Saturday, some people have to get onto those roads, so officials are hitting the streets today. Some 9,000 gallons of brine, a blend of salt and water that helps the road from freezing because it's going to lower that freezing point. So let's talk about the forecast here. We are on that northern fringe, so I'm just going to be straight up honest with you guys, because I feel like that's what you want to hear. I'm not going to just say these are the numbers, this is what's going to happen. Being on that northern fringe with a very sharp cutoff in snow totals, it has been so tough for us to forecast for this. So let's show you the numbers here. Of course, in D.C., it looks like we're going to be setting new benchmarks. Up here, New York and northbound, I mean, we can range anywhere from 6 to 12 inches, which makes a significant difference. So just be prepared for that. Now, I think the winds are going to be a bigger issue for us here. We are actually under a blizzard warning. Now, when you hear blizzard warning, I feel like a lot of people think snow, but you could just have a couple inches of snow. But if you had those winds 30 miles an hour or stronger than that for a long period of time, you actually can reduce your visibility, and that's really the key when you hear the word blizzard. It's the reduced visibility, not necessarily the snowfall. So flights are going to be shut down here. I know United is shutting things down in D.C. Here into the Northeast Saturday, forget about it. I can't imagine much getting in or out. Here's a closer look at some of those totals. We're a little more confident about what's going to be happening in places like Philadelphia, a little bit farther south. But again, here into New York, look at that cutoff. I mean, in the city, you could maybe see a foot, and then you just go up to White Plains. A lot of people commute in and out of there, and you could just get a few inches. So being on that cutoff line is deadly. It is very challenging to forecast for that, so bear with us here. All you have to do is stay tuned, and we'll continue to explain to you why we're making these forecasts and why they are so difficult. Okay, we go from the snow to the ice threat, and Tom, we could see crippling ice for people in the south. Where exactly on the I-85 corridor are we concerned about that?
You know, one of my biggest concerns is Charlotte to Raleigh right now. We're going to get to that. The primary part of the storm right now is still producing snow and some freezing rain and sleet into places like Little Rock, over 6 inches of snow. Memphis, that combination of sleet and freezing rain. But the primary low is going to transfer its energy now to the coast, and we get a setup where we've got all this cold air that is locked in place here across North Carolina. warm, moist air coming above that. And take a look. You can already see this huge area of freezing rain here that is going to slicken up roadways very, very quickly. Just to the north of that, right along the I-85 corridor, we still have snow. But as we go through the day today, you're going to see how the freezing rain is going to overtake this area, and it's going to continue throughout a good part of the day here. You go from snow in Charlotte to several hours of freezing rain, and guess what happens as we get on the backside of this later tonight? We're back into snowfall here, so it is going to be exceptionally slick driving conditions. Freezing rain could accumulate as much as a half to 3/4 of an inch across this area. Very concerned about this region right here. This is the area that is likely going to see severe power outages. We're going to have trees and power lines that likely will come down once you get up to about a half an inch of snow. And again, take a look at that. A 1/4 inch or less, not too much of a problem, but for driving it's an issue. By the time you get to a half inch, it's bad. And when you get over a half inch, it's going to be widespread power outages. Jim, a lot of this energy is going to be transferring up your way as we go through the day here and into tonight. So, and those winds are going to pick up as well.
Oh, big time. Look, quick question for you. Could we get a little bit more snow than we thought we would in Charlotte to limit the ice?
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at it right now. I think we're going to get a couple more hours of snow in that area, and hopefully that'll cut down the ice, because the icing is going to be a more severe threat at this point.
All right, speaking of icing, thanks, Niz. Let's go out to Memphis. Ron Blom is standing by. Ron, you've had freezing rain this morning. Any signs of changeover?
Well, yeah, in fact, in the last 10 minutes, it has gone to a very heavy snowfall. And, Jim, the temperature just hovered right above freezing, and so that 3 hours of sleet and freezing rain they predicted really was just a very cold rain. We had maybe 20 minutes of sleet, and then boom, we went into snow. As we push in here with the camera a little bit, you can see just how intense the snow is. But let me tell you how lucky that is. Because we didn't get that ice layer on the highways, they're going to be able to plow the snow that piles up here. They just can't do a thing with sleet. And once that sleet gets packed down, you get snowfall on it. This is a city of Memphis that has 8 snow plows, so they really can't do much. So this was a big game changer for Memphis to really be shifting into snow. The big snow event, though, was in Arkansas, from Hot Springs, slashing all the way across the state up to the Missouri Boot Hill. Heavy snow, 6 inches plus in Little Rock. A fair amount of ice, 14,000 electric customers out in Arkansas, especially just to the northwest of Memphis. Stephanie, we'll be back here with more as the morning goes on.
All right, Ron, we're looking forward to it. Thank you for that report. So we have the snow, we have the ice, we also have severe weather. Kelly Cass will have that. And then we are going to go live to Jen Carfagna, who is on the Jersey Shore, to talk about the flood potential with this. That's coming up after your local on the 8th on America's Morning Headquarters.
A winter storm warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 23 degrees under clear skies. Today, generally cloudy, high 31, winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, windy, snow changing to a wintry mix, low 28. Saturday, cloudy and windy with periods of rain, high 39. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It is now 9 minutes past the hour on America's Morning Headquarters for weather. With memories of Sandy and past storms fresh in their minds, residents along the Jersey Shore are busy shoring up their property before Jonas arrives. They're building man-made dikes to keep back potential overwash from the ocean that could flood homes and lead to flood closures. Excuse me, road closures, I should say. We've got coastal flood warnings up from Delaware to New Jersey, and our Jen Carfagno's in Atlantic City to talk about it this morning. Now, Jen, we've been saying Sandy a lot, and I don't want people to think this is going to be a repeat of Sandy that took out the boardwalk, of course, in Atlantic City, but this will be the worst flooding we've seen since Sandy.
Well, and and that's an important point to make. A lot of people, when they think coastal impacts right here on the Jersey Shore, they do think Sandy. And I think it depends where you are on the coast, too. If you go down the coast, down to Cape May, this could be one of your top three when it comes to tidal and flooding events. Here in Atlantic City, where I am, we've been watching the ocean flat yesterday. You look behind me, and we've got maybe 1 or 2 footers right now. It all has to do with the fact that wind direction is going to matter big time. The amount of time we spend with the wind pushing the water on shore, the waves that we are going to see, and the time of high tide, and if it all corresponds. We've got potentially three high tide cycles that we are going to be dealing with this storm. And so we are expecting moderate to major, maybe not record-breaking, but moderate to major impacts along the Jersey Shore and down into Delaware, into the Delmarva as well. All right, so coastal flood warnings are up across this area. We are concerned here that we are going to be looking at some inland flooding, the areas that typically flood. We're going to be looking for, the rain certainly is going to be a factor. We'll maybe start as a push of snow and then changing over to rain right along the coast, and then we'll watch potentially that changeover back. But the issue is going to be the push of water moving from the Atlantic Ocean, moving onshore. And watch this low tracking up along the coast today. Back in October, Hurricane Joaquin and the push of water that Hurricane Joaquin put onto the Jersey Shore created some tremendous issues. We had that scarping along the beach where you get that cliff that sort of cuts off on the beach and the dunes, and that was an issue. Concerned that in some of the places that got it the worst after Joaquin in October of last year, that could be an issue as we see this push of water onshore again. Again, 3 high tide cycles. We've got one Saturday morning, again one Saturday night, and then again Sunday morning. And if the wind direction stays onshore that entire time, that will mean more significant impacts. So it's that northeast wind that we're concerned about. Right now, I got the wind at my face. It's still coming from the northwest, but when the wind turns around, Anna Rittis very concerned about the water coming up on along the beach. All right, what else is new this morning, Anna Rittis? Let's check in with you.
A lot of preparations ahead of the impact of Jonas. Let's take a look at what we know now and break down the numbers. Washington, D.C. Metro reporting more than 300 school closings today, including Fairfax County schools, Montgomery County, and Prince George County in Maryland. Also in this, 221 school and office closings around Roanoke, Virginia. 125 school and office closings around Raleigh, North Carolina. A lot of ice expected there. Cumberland County, North Carolina has 20 plows ready to clear the roads. In the meantime, in Georgia, the governor closing state government today and extending state of emergency list to 21 counties. The governor says 24 more counties could be added by today. And nearly 5,000 weekend flights preemptively canceled at airports up and down the Atlantic seaboard. FlightAware reporting more than 2,300 U.S. flight cancellations for today. Of course, there is a big impact on travel at 20 past. We're going to take a look at the cities that are in the bullseye for the storm. And aside from all of this, we're following severe weather. Already a confirmed tornado west of Tallahassee this morning.
Yeah, it's about what we don't have, right? We have all kinds of weather going on, Anna Rittis. We're going to focus on the severe side of Jonas right now, as we do have a brand new tornado warning just issued right on the coastline here. We're in the Florida Panhandle right now. Franklin County, you were just placed under a tornado warning just moments ago. This goes until 6:45 Eastern time around the Carabel area, moving off toward the east-northeast at about 30-35 miles per hour. So radar indicating some rotation within this storm here in Franklin County. Need to be seeking shelter away from the windows. Protect yourself, protect your head from flying debris if that is indeed the case with a tornado that could develop at any moment. Severe thunderstorm warnings also going for portions of western Florida as well. We do anticipate more severe weather as we go throughout the morning on into the afternoon hours as well, as the system really gets going in Tampa by about 12 or 1 o'clock this afternoon, right as you're heading out for that sandwich over towards Melbourne and down towards Miami. We're going to be watching out for showers and storms late this afternoon into the evening hours. We're talking winds better than 60 miles per hour. That is going to be a possibility. That could cause a ground stop at Miami International. Orlando, we're watching your skies today as well, with the severe threat going for pretty much the entire Sunshine State. But even up into southern Georgia, can't rule out the chance for severe weather where you are. Watching Savannah over towards Jacksonville as well. A Torcon of a 3 for today. That's basically a 30% chance of seeing tornadoes within that 50-mile area. Stephanie, back to you.
All right, we're going to talk travel coming up. Here are some details. United Airlines will suspend all flights into the Dulles hub starting at 4 p.m. today. Also, Amtrak, it's going to go regular schedule today, but modified this weekend. More details after your local on the 8th.